Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to my weekly live stream. This is the Comic Book ASM Artist, and yeah, I'll just be here to take your Q&A. We're gonna hang out for about an hour here, and I'll wait for people to kind of shuffle in before we get into any real big content. So, if you just let me know in the chat below who you are when you're in here. Hello, random guy. How are you doing, buddy? All right, let me know who's in here. Random guy. Doing good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm here. I missed last week's stream. I had family stuff going on, and I'm a little sick today too. But I didn't want to put this off since I did miss last week. I didn't want to miss 2 weeks in a row. So, but I'm here. So yeah, feel free to ask me anything you want, and I will do my best to answer it for you. Hi Mango, how you doing, buddy? Hi Keem, how you doing? Yeah, it's rolling through here. I guess I can talk about Task Force. How's it going, man? So I can talk a little bit about something that happened today to me. This has been brewing for a bit, I guess, but there has been a bigger list, I guess, circulated since I have joined the. I'm doing well, Task Force. Thank you. Since I have joined the whole comic book movement, which is pretty much a revolution of creators and consumers who want to see a change in the industry, and we want to actually treat people decently. We want to listen to feedback and to appreciate fans as opposed to telling everyone, hey, if you don't like it, don't buy it, and oh, that's your opinion, all that good stuff. So I joined that movement, and as you all know, my book, The Bull, is my first one that I've published, and it's still in the on-demand store, just $5. You can click the link to check it out. But since I'm a part of this movement, I have made the industry blacklist. So that means that DC, Marvel, and any of those other big names, I am deemed as a rebel and someone who is unacceptable because I'm part of this Comicscape movement. So there is that, and I knew that at the start that that was going to be what happened. So, but I'm okay with that because I always wanted to make the Bull they uh, be the thing that I wanted to draw anyway. So this will be my career book and my career character here. So if you're starting on this journey with me, this is I've sacrificed the chance to possibly ever get to draw Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all those people professionally. So that's what it costs. If you want to join this movement known as Comicsgate, that's what happens, and then you get mislabeled as a a not good person. You want to get lumped in with Nazis and homophobes and racists and all these other terms that we're not, but the industry is scared of what we're doing. And so they want to sling mud. And it's sad because I am still of the mind where I still buy products from Marvel and DC. I am still able to separate the writers and the artists' political personal opinions from their comics, but what stinks is a lot of the books that spills right into them and it's ruining the finished product, which is what the revolution of the Comicscape movement is all about. It's about not having your books loaded with stuff like that. So, but I knew it was going to happen, but it's official now. I'm about in the middle of their list that's been circulated in their back channels of whoever, and someone shared it on Facebook, and I saw it, so I was like, oh, hey, there I am. And I was on the list when it was smaller too, back in July or whatever. So, and that's the thing. A lot of us in this comicscape movement, we are good guys. So, but they don't care because the industry is not filled with good people, unfortunately. It's filled with people who are selfish and narcissistic. They have forgotten that the customer is the reason why they have succeeded. So they have brushed us off and said, oh, well, if you can't please everyone, and on and on and on. So that's what they've decided to do. So it's unfortunate, but I knew it was going to happen. So now it's official. So let me scroll up and read your stuff. I just needed to get all that out so you guys would know what I was going to do here. Let's see. Glad to hear. Yeah, that's part of it. That's this movement. It's good that you are good. You too, for the others in the stream. Yeah. Hi, Task Hakeem. Hi, Random. You look like my high school principal. Well, I'm an older guy, so and I've been called a bit of a square and a Boy Scout. I would equate myself on the same lines of like Bob Rossi and Mr. Rogers like mannerism and stuff like that. I'm a very gentle person. Like, I still have my edges and whatever, but I typically put off a nice demeanor. Very few people have seen me upset, so at least they aren't going to take over the government and kill you. Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. You're such a good guy. Thanks for the like, Task Force. I appreciate it. Did you ever smoke? No, I've never smoked or vaped or anything like that. Yes, Bob Ross was the grandfather of ASMR. So, yeah, I'm still behind on all of my books. I have, you guys have seen my hauls of stuff. I can't seem to get past the hurdle, and I try to rotate it where I read, yes, rest in peace for Bob for sure. I can't get past. I try to cycle it where I read the older stuff before I read the neuter stuff, the newer stuff. So I still have my box that's just filled with like pretty much the DC Age of Heroes stuff. So like Silencer and all that, which is good stuff. On the top is actually the better stuff. Silencer and Damage are the main ones I like, and then I think his son did do a little bit of it though, if I remember. He did do art instruction and all that as well, but definitely not on the scale. I mean, Bob, he had just a whole other thing going for him. He was one of those just very rare individuals. So yeah, there was just something special about him. It was, the talent coupled with his personality and all that good stuff. Your bum hurts. I'm sorry, Task Force. And then, yeah, we have a lot of construction going on in the house right now too, so that's why I haven't been doing a lot of readings. I definitely want to. And I guess I can work that a little bit too. I don't know if everyone in here knows, most of you probably know, but I did reach 500 and we've passed that now, but I'm doing a giveaway contest. I got a big market Clayton Crane poster signed. It's a big, beautiful Punisher painting that he did. And that we're doing that for our 500 subscriber giveaway. All you have to do is watch the video, leave a comment, and preferably the comment what type of content you want to see on the show. And then next week at this time for the live stream, I will be doing the drawing to see who gets a copy of that, as well as the bull number one. I'm going to give one of those away too. So all you have to do is be subscribed, like the video. Not even like the video, just I wish you would. But comment. Let me know what you want to see on the channel, because that's the whole thing. I make the content for you guys. So naturally, let me know what you want to see. I'll make it to you, and then you get entered into the drawing. So, but next on my docket, I'm going to be reading the Mad Love one shot. I love that story, so that's my next reading. But I don't know what else. I mean, I definitely have tons of stuff here. Someone asked, you're in the hospital because you're really sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you get better, Task. How many comic books do you have total? Well, I have like 10 short boxes. Each one holds, I think around 250. So my math sucks, but I think I probably have over 1,000. But I used to have more. We moved up here and I had like 10 long boxes, and all that stuff got, the person who was watching our stuff decided it'd be a cool idea to sell it all and not tell us. So all of my stuff I used to own, don't have it anymore. So everything I've acquired is just from the past 6 years since we've moved here to the Seattle area. So that's kind of crazy when you think about it. And I actually, technically, one of the boxes too, I sold off whenever Marvel did their all new, all different nonsense. I just pretty much said yeah, and I cast all that aside and just sold it on Craigslist for like $500. So, so technically, I should have 11 short boxes here, but one of them I just completely cast off. So, Bob always said his son did mountains better than him. Yeah. John Berthnall is the best Punisher. Well, I haven't seen any of the Netflix shows, honestly. I would like to. I have no clue what I do with my time. I have my family and I have my stuff with the comics and all that, but I don't know. It's like I sit down and I try to account for where all the time is being spent, and I have no clue. It's so weird. Read some Green Lantern. Well, I have to buy some Green Lantern to read some Green Lantern, or at least go to the library and check out a trade. So maybe I'll do Ethan Van Sciver's stuff just because, Comics Gate support. Jeff Jones, yeah. Or Jeff Johns, rather. Thanks for the. Oh, thanks, Task Force. I appreciate it. So I have like 100 from when but I'm sure they're good books though, right, Random? They're not just like, yeah, a handful of books. They're like your cultivated books, right? Like there's actually fond memories attached to them, and that's what I miss too. One of the things people are like, oh, you need to do like your top 10 favorite books and all that, but it's like I don't have those books anymore. So I have a lot of books I feel lukewarm about, sadly, because that's where the industry is. A lot of the magic has gone. So the stories are entertaining, but they're not to the point of where you look back and you're like, man, this is incredible. Or it starts out good and then it just kind of loses the way, or they switch artists, or, whatever. And I miss that. I miss being able to look back on an example I give is like Alex Malev in Bendis's Daredevil run. I look back on that run and I loved it. And, a lot of people hate Bendis or whatever, but I think in that stage, his writing and stuff, it had a different feel to it, and I think Malev's art style helped, along with when David Mack was doing the stuff too, with all like the collage paintings type stuff. So like, I love that run on Daredevil, those early Marvel Knights stuff that Bendis did with those very talented gentlemen. Do you ever do any ASMR with like tapping or anything? Yeah, I'm trying to work in a little bit of it. My whole thing is when I do it, I have to tie it with comic books. So if I do, you'll have like there'll be like a comic page or something to that effect where the screen is fixed on it. And I would love to do more face-to-face stuff like this, but whenever I hold up anything, especially like if you see the interiors, you can't really read or make out, like the pictures come out okay, but you can't really read them too well. And so that doesn't work. I'd like to do more intimate interaction like this, but the front camera, the selfie camera or whatever, doesn't really work too well for fine detail like letters. So but I would like to do more, the face to face, because that's when I look back, a lot of the really successful ASMR is done where it's like person to person, because that's part of like the intimate interaction of it. But yeah, I definitely want to sprinkle some more, at least try to get one like ASMR focused type of video done at least once a month. I did do a gum chewing one and I did a water sounds one, and I have playlists for that. If you check out my channel, there's different ones, and it'll say like just sounds or whatever, and those are just sounds. I have everything organized in the playlist. So I have past readings I've done, all the series, Bone, Ninja Turtles, Batman, Superman, Nightwing. And I want to get back into a little bit of those too, but like I said, when I was doing them, I'd put in all this effort, and then I would have like, and not too many, or I'd have like a decent amount, a decent number of views, still under 100. I think the most I had was maybe 60 on a video, but then I was like, you'd have 60 views, but then the watch time would not even be like the length of the video. So it's like, okay, great, I got 60 people to click on it, but maybe two of them actually sat through the whole video. So, but what can you do? But so I said I want to read stuff that you want to see me read. Like I could easily just pull from my big log of stuff here, and what I might do, there's a few sites where you can read pretty much any book, and I don't condone like the whole pirate thing, but my whole concept is read to promote the book and to help you relax and fall asleep. So I mean, that's my whole thing. I always say, hey, if you like this, go out and buy the book. So I am trying to get them money, even though at this point, like I said, the industry has put me on their list to say, hey, don't support this guy. So, but what can you do? At the end of the day, I love comics. I don't care who's going to persecute me or whatever. My heroes will still be my heroes, regardless of who is um, behind the creation of those books. So, yeah. I have Star Wars comics. I would really love to get into the Star Wars ones. I've seen, especially like Cassaday stuff. I love John Cassaday, so I'd love to read his. And then the Darth Vader stuff I'd really like to read a lot. I just started to get back into when Marvel relaunched everything with their number ones a couple months ago, so I've started to read those, and they're okay. The main reason I got them is to kind of support the acknowledgement of, hey, you put Tony Stark back in the Iron Man suit, and this is the Bruce Banner Hulk as opposed to Amadeus Cho or whatever his name was, and um, Thor being a woman and all that stuff. Like they've reset it a little bit. Although like there's still some weird elements to the books, but I'm at least trying to say, hey, thanks for kind of putting stuff back in there for the people who are just like, people are going from like the Avengers movie and then just like, who are these people in these books? Like it doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad that they're trying to refocus a little bit. But I think if the cinematic universe visually matched, at least visually matched what's going on in the comic universe, they'd get a lot more readers. And then if they had the blurb for the whole comic shop reader, or at least like the Marvel Digital Unlimited or the DC streaming service and all that, then I think they would have more customers. I could be wrong, but I mean, there are so many people watching those movies, it'd be foolish of them not to. Which is one thing I appreciated when they put out the Spider-Man video game. They had a month free code in there for Marvel Unlimited, and if you watch my video from when I unboxed it, I think a month or so ago, I did give away the digital code for that. So if you watch that video, I think it's Comic Hall from maybe a month ago, I'm not sure, but if you watch that, there's a part where I show the game and then I'm just like, here's the digital code. So I don't know if anyone's claimed it or not, but I thought that was cool. Thanks for telling us where we can find the DC Giants. Yes. Yeah, you're very welcome. Did you get one? I'm going to finish reading your statement here. I've been looking for the mag and checkout area. Went tonight. We're right where you said they would be. Bought JLA number 3. That's beautiful. That's what I want to hear. I was able to find, I found the Swamp Thing one, the Greg Capullo one that just came out this past Sunday. I found that. Since now I know where to go to, and I kind of knew before, but like when it was too late, it had already been like, a week or two, and everyone pounced on the number 1. So I got the number 3 wave of everything except for the Teen Titan one, and then I got that the Halloween special Swamp Thing, and then this Sunday they're releasing the next Bendis one. So the other Bendis one, the first Bendis story takes place in Batman number 3, 100-page giant, and the next one will be coming out on Sunday. So if you don't have that yet, that's what's going on there. So. Yeah, the whole Captain America being a Nazi thing. It drove me crazy. Like you can, and then the fact that they were selling that as, oh, this has been from the beginning. He was a sleeper agent, and even now, like even though um, in the book they're like, okay, everything's back to normal. How they ended the Secret Empire event was they put that version of Cap in custody. So that version is still around. And if you remember too, in that story, the good Cap they pulled out of some weird dimensional something or other. So more or less what they've said is like the consciousness of Captain America Steve Rogers is in this brand new body that they pulled out from the cube or whatever they did, but the physical body from the beginning, Steve Rogers, is the Hydra Cap. So I hate that the fact that it wasn't just the cube all along that gave him these false memories, and the reader saw what he saw in his head would have been the best way to deal with it, and then have something happen where he snapped and he came to his senses and shook that off and did some character uh, repair that way, but that's not what happened. So they had another form of him come out. If I remember, all I remember is like another physical form of him apparated, sort of a thing, from like this holding area. But he fought the other version, which was his body. So and it's still around. So, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna drag that out with the new writer, because his whole thing is he personally does not really like the state of how America is run right now. So he is projecting that in his writing. It's very apparent, even though it's not as in your face as a lot of his stuff has been in the past. It is still enough where you're like, okay, settle down. But yeah, I'm really bummed. Like I haven't read a good Cap story since Steve Epting and Ed Brubaker's Cap. So, but they just did such an incredible job, that it's hard to top what they did. There's quite a few, and then with everything that's come to light with the creators and what side they are on all this stuff, it really stinks, because you sit back and it's like it's pretty much all of them just yes-menning each other, saying, oh yeah, these people in Comicsgate are horrible. And so it's pretty much the entire industry, even the veterans from way back in the day. And it stinks for me because like when I started to get Cap monthly was whenever Mark Waid was working on the book. And for me, I'll never speak ill of any creator or anything like that. Like I said, I appreciate the time and effort that goes into the product and the project, the passion that's there. But to have him be such an opposing force in this whole movement and everything, and it's more like you can't support him and support Comicsgate, which is a bummer, because he's written a lot of really good stuff I enjoyed. That Cap run when I started collecting, and the whole Kingdom Come thing and all that, and he's written quite a few good stories. So to read those now with that in mind of where he's at mentally now is a little bit of a bummer. But like I said, I try my best to separate creators from the actual work. It's getting to the point of where it's really hard when they are speaking out so vehemently against what you're doing. So did you watch? I did not watch the new Doctor Who. My wife is a huge Whovian. There are bits of it I've tried to watch. I can appreciate how people are into it, but I personally have not really done the time and invested myself into it. I really loved the Van Gogh episode. Like it was one that tugged at my heartstrings, and I really appreciated it. I really like my favorite Doctor is the 10th Doctor from what I have seen. And my wife got to meet him as well as I'm blanking on Billy Piper. She got to meet them both last year at Comic-Con, so that was cool. And then of course I was there next to her, so I got to talk to him. So that was really cool. But yeah, I know what they're trying to do with everything with Doctor Who, so it's a bummer. It's pretty much every single fandom. They're just trying to be like, hey, this is a girls' world too, and they're just trying to get in there and muddy the water and turn every single thing that used to be pretty male driven into saying, hey, girls can be into this too, which is great. But if you're gonna uh, change so much stuff in spite of the customer to get negative reaction and all that, then you're going in the wrong direction. You can have strong female characters. You can have strong ethnic characters. You can have strong gay characters or whatever, but that doesn't mean you turn an established character and if, from a fandom just suddenly, just at the whim, just to, for representation, which is what they've done. So, your favorite's the 11th. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Love you too, buddy. Yeah, and that's the next wave with the Marvel universe. Apparently, they've signed old Allison Brie up for, I believe, um, 7 or 6 Marvel movies. So it's like, hey, Captain Marvel hasn't even come out yet, but they've already put all their eggs in that basket. They're like, no, we're doing this. She's gonna be the face of the Marvel universe and the next wave, you know. And everyone's just like, yeah, and they're gonna see a backlash from it. It's gonna happen. So, but yeah, I guess I can talk now too. We are doing. There's something that the Comics Gate pros do called Drawn and Quartered, and they do theirs every Tuesday. I believe they do theirs around maybe it's 10 Eastern. I forget. But what we've started to do is we do a fan edition of the show where we draw the same subject that they draw and we hold to the same rules, which is basically we draw for 2 hours straight, and the piece has to be 100% created on the live stream. And at the end, we do a straw poll, and we have a winner. And then, but what they do on theirs is the winner of this stream. They actually pick out one of the random voters who voted for them, and mail them a print of their finished piece of artwork. But we haven't done that part on the show yet for the fan version, but we do the straw poll and stuff. But we're doing ours on Wednesday now instead of Tuesday, and we're gonna do it at the same time. It's gonna be 10 Eastern, and I'm actually going to host it next Wednesday. So if you're a regular in the channel here, we're gonna have a live stream on Wednesday for that Drawn and Quarter. You're gonna see a bunch of fan talent on the show. And what's cool is our winners from the past couple have actually gone on to the pro show, and I think 2 of them won, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the names of who. I'm horrible with names, but 2 of the fans actually won the Drawn and Quartered for those nights. So that was pretty cool. So they're aware of what we're doing. So, and I've always said for myself, like I don't put myself on the same level as like Ethan Van Sciver or Mitch Brightwise or any of them. I'm very much on the fan end of talent, but I put out my book to inspire other people to say, hey, you know what? Remove the excuses. We found this group, Comics Wellspring, will print your book. If you got $100, you can print 25 copies of your book. So you don't have to worry about raising a whole ton of money to self-publish your book. And so that just removes any of the fear. Because for years, for me, I would have my concept and be like, I'm going to do this, and then I'd look at printing costs and be like, yeah, we'd love to print your book, but don't do that. No, go. We don't do that on the show. Sorry, buddy. Yes, it's comics with an X, Comics Wellspring, and I might throw a link to that later on the description here. But I've shown it off a couple times in the past. But yes, it's Comics Wellspring. And like I said, yeah, you can do a small print run of 25 books, and it'll cost you under 100 actually. So, and that's if you're doing full color, and that's glossy pages, and you can put a little ad on the back. It knocks it down, I think 5 cents per copy or whatever. But it's really cool, and I highly recommend it. And like I said, it empowers because it removes the fear, it removes the doubt. If you have an idea and a dream to self-publish your own book, you can. If you got $100 and you have the motivation to make your comic, make your comic. And for me, I used 100 Days of Comics as my inspiration. You work on your book for 100 days straight for 30 minutes a day, and you post every day. That's the key. You have to have accountability. And if you're not part of that group, I was in part of that group formally, but if you're not part of that, you can at least post on Facebook to say, hey, here's what I did today, or get in another art group on Facebook and just be like, hey, here's what I did, and just let people know like this is day 1 of 100 or day 2 of 100 or whatever, and I will probably try to make mine a little faster next time. For the bull number 2, I might try to do it in 50 days. I'm not sure. I'm still in the concept process of the creating, so it's kind of hard for me to. My mind is still very much focused on the campaign for the current number 1 issue, but definitely number 2 is in the works. It's an ongoing series, so that's what I'm working on. So, but yeah, as long as you have, and I mean, even me too. Like what I did was for the bull, I just drew right on the back of like these comic boards. But the trick is to be mindful of you have to leave about a quarter of an inch or a half inch around your page here, to be mindful that that could get cut off in printing. So if you keep that in mind when you're like putting your text and all that, then you're in good shape, because mine came out, typically they use like a big board. It's an 11 by 17 board, but for me I just used a comic board, and it created the same sort of texture and feel that you would get from a bigger Bristol board, only it was on a smaller scale. And it helped for me because I colored the whole thing in color pencils, so that was a lot of area to cover, and I still went through almost a box of 48 color pencils in that time. So, and I like it. It provided a unique look for the book, but I'll definitely get more polish as I continue to learn and grow and all that. But I really like how the book came out. I thought it was unique, and I definitely enjoy it. I hope you guys will enjoy it too. But my whole thing too, I've removed the element of fear whenever I've looked back and seen any book that started in the beginning, whether it was Superman, Batman, Charlie Brown, whatever. If you look at the beginning of everything, those characters don't look a thing like they do now. So if you keep that in mind, don't get discouraged if stuff doesn't look 100% amazing. You will grow as an artist the more you do it. And so you guys will see that process. So, and that's the whole joy of it. So if you buy one, thanks for the being a part of the process and the journey with me. So. Yeah, we'd love to have you on the fan edition, William, for sure. You have a big thing coming up. I think it's this. Is it this coming up Thursday? Maybe I can't remember. I think I saw you posting on Facebook where you're doing kind of like a live drawing convention-y sort of thing. Do you think the MCU will ever just fall apart like the DCEU? Yes, I think they will, Keem. But and the reason will be because of this next wave that's coming. The first wave was perfect. We had our regular established characters that people have loved for years and years. There's a reason why Marvel has been around for 75 years and all this. Those characters that were created were good characters. But so this next wave that's coming out will be a lot of these the newer characters, because these Disney doesn't like to spend money at the end of the day. They like to make money, but they don't like to spend it. So you can only keep the same retainers, the same actors who've been on retainer with you for so long. Robert Downey Jr. is an expensive man to get on a movie. Like I want to say he's one of, if not the highest paid actor. So to have him be the glue of the current Marvel universe, and like he's really I think he's the biggest and most successful one out of the current run. The other guys has reaped in the benefits too, but he's really been the glue for it. So they can't keep him around much longer, and it goes with everyone. So we'll probably see some pretty huge changes happen at the end of this next Avengers movie. I would imagine most of the original generation people will be out of here by the end of that movie. They've already stated that their plan is to have Captain Marvel be the face of Marvel in the next wave. She's going to take the leadership role. So she's going to show up and be as overpowered as crap, and hopefully she's not going to one punch Thanos. Like, that would be stupid if that's how it goes down. So like I said, at least everyone else, like we've been with this crew for 10 years. We've seen growth and progress and character development, all that good stuff. So to have her just show up and be like, oh, well, I'm the most powerful person here and just, annihilate everything, that'd be lame. So, but I know they're sticking to she's going to be the most powerful and she's going to be the leader of the next phase. So with that, they're going to sprinkle in, all the other newer characters as well. So, but we'll see. I know the Sebastian Stan is still on for I don't know how many more movies, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna take over, and they're just gonna do the whole Winter Soldier becomes Cap arc because they really did love what Epting and Brubaker did in those books. Like it's a no-brainer to make those into movies. Um, so yeah, they'll continue with that formula, I believe, and you'll see Bucky become Captain America for the next three films. And then will there be a Captain America three films after that? I don't know. So at that point, will the audience want to see Captain America movies, or will they finally reach the peak? That's the question. So, but I think they're gonna see a heavy fan boycott if they just want to put out, movies that are not going to cater to male fans and just try to focus on female fans. So, all right. Well, good night, Keem. Thanks for coming on, buddy. But yeah, that's what I think we're gonna see. So if they do that, they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot, and we're seeing that with the Star Wars universe right now with the direction the Last Jedi went with. Like people weren't keen on that either. So I think we're gonna see the same thing for sure. Unfortunately, I'm interested to see um, the direction that DC takes. They are just kind of a big question mark right now. I liked how they put all the Aquaman in his orange suit on the thing that they just showed recently. So that looks cool. I know it won't be for the whole movie, but it is cool that they'll give a nod to that. So fans will appreciate that, I'm sure. Um, and then I don't know how people will receive Shazam. I think it'll be a fun movie, but I don't think enough people will be invested in it. But we'll see what happens with that. And then, yeah, what else? Yeah, they're working on the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I think that is going to be a really interesting movie. It's really weird the face makeup that they've chosen, but his character I believe is going to be like a failed comic slash clown or something failed in some way, shape, or form in the entertainment business. So I don't know if that's just going to be an easy transition, like he's already going to look like that in a movie, like when he's at his job before he gets canned or whatever, or what happens there. So, but it is weird. The red nose on there is weird, and I like how the suit really kind of emulates the the '60s Batman Joker. So I think that's cool. Where I don't think it's even really a dark purple, but I know that they're gonna do some post production because I've seen like people's like stills they've done of the movie where it looks grittier, where everything's a little bit darker. So it won't be as bright as it was in the '60s show. I think that would be really strange if it was, but we're gonna see definitely a different visual tone than we've seen for a good long time, and especially if visually our mind goes back to the '60s Batman, which was very campy, and then suddenly this one is on the scene and it takes a route where everything is gritty and very dark. That'll kind of be an interesting thing to screw with our heads too. So see what happens there. And then yeah, I guess a little side thing too. Yesterday, my kids, I know I showed you guys in my comic haul, I got my blank comic books. They have a Wonder Woman one, they have a Batman one, and a Superman one where they're 100% blank, 24 pages blank inside, and there's a blank cover. My kids saw those, and they actually want to make their own comics. So they're in the process. Yesterday, I went on and bought my kids their own copies so they could make their own books. So that was fun. And then I did that, and then I sidetracked and went to the Funko HQ, so I got this nice Captain America Funko shirt, and it was the last one they had, so I'm glad I got it. And then I got the black and white Lucy Pop fig, which for me growing up, that was the show that I would bond with my mom with a lot. So, and then that Pop fig is actually one that is usually just a Target exclusive, so I found it in there, and it didn't even have the little Target exclusive sticker on it. So, but yeah, I'm never gonna be one of those people who pays like any more than the actual $10 for a Pop fig. So it was nice to find the black and white one and just pay $10 for it, and so now I have it in my collection. So, but what I'm doing with those is just trying to buy ones from just kind of obscure, fun memories from my childhood slash early life. So right now I have, and I might do a video on these. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that Gunn is supposed to be working on a script for Suicide Squad 2. Really weird. I have a Rocco and a Heifer pop, and then I have a Tick one. I have a Stan Lee pop that I actually got when I got to meet him. And then I have a Bob Ross one. I have a Mr. Bean one. And then I have all the Jurassic Park original movie ones. And then I have Mr. Rogers and Lucy. So I don't have a ton of them, but like I said, I'm getting random ones, and I'm contemplating whether I'm gonna get like the Pee Wee Herman one or not. Because that's for me, I'm just trying to get. Because if I try to buy like Marvel ones and stuff like that, I'm gonna be really tempted to. I'm gonna be Justice League 2. That would be crazy if they did that. I'm just trying to get obscure ones, because if I try to get like comic lines ones, I'm gonna be really tempted to try to complete a set. Like, oh, I'll just buy all the Avengers ones, or I'll buy all the Justice League ones, or whatever, and it adds up after a while. So the ones I get are typically just little random offshoots. So the Jurassic Park ones were the only ones I got the full set of, just because. Yeah, and they never really had toys of like John Hammond or Dennis Nedry, and so I thought that was cool. So that's what I like, is they make ones out of just any of the characters. It doesn't matter if they're like a fan favorite or not. They typically will just make a pop of the whole line. So yeah. You else have any questions or anything? I know I've been kind of going off a little bit off questions here, but rambling a bit. But yeah, so definitely next Thursday, come on. We'll do our drawing for the giveaway. It'll be get a copy of the Bull #1, as well as that sweet signed Clayton Crane poster. And then once we get to 1,000, I have a full stack of comics signed that I'm giving out. I have a signed Mike Allred book. I have a signed Tim Sale book. What else? I don't remember what all I have. I have a big stack of them though, but they're pretty good ones. It's pretty much like the notable guests that were at Emerald City last year. I'm gonna continue that every year when I go to Emerald City. I'm just going to get signatures from some of the bigger names and gather that for a bundle and do a giveaway with them. So, and it is for U.S. residents only, unless you want to pay the shipping. Because when I did my 100 subscriber one, yeah, that package went overseas and it was heavy, and it cost me quite a bit of money. So, but what else? Oh, I guess I can show you my pieces I did, maybe. Do they add a barcode on the cover? They don't add one, but if you can buy barcodes I believe are $10 a piece. And I can give you more specifics on that, William. Because we're through a Facebook chat anyway. I can I'll take pictures maybe of the page in this book, and they may have even changed it. The book is an older book. It's How to Make Web Comics, but they go into a part where they talk about printing. But you buy a barcode in there. I think it's $10. You can just apply for it. I think it's just a website. I can't remember exactly, but you just basically apply for one, and then they give it to you, and then you save that digital file, and yeah, you just put it on your book as like a little graphic. You just clip it on there, but they don't have a barcode on there. But yes, you can, because you just give them your image files, and then they turn it into a book. So the drawn and quarter, I was on the last two of them, and I might have links to those videos below too. But here's the Lobo was our theme for yesterday's. So I did a crazy frizzy haired, very hairy Lobo. And then the prior week was Starfire. And I'm giving this one to my 5-year-old daughter. I mean, I guess technically I could throw these in my store Envy shop, the ones that aren't like this one, giving it to my daughter. But black and white pieces, I know I do commissions too. My black and whites I do are 40, and then color ones I believe are 60 or 80. I think they're 60. But yeah, so those are the last two I did, and it's a lot of fun. And I didn't win either of them, but it's okay. It's more about the interaction. And for the next one, I don't know if I'm personally going to draw for it. We'll see what happens. I might just be focused on being a host for it, but it'll be fun either way. And you guys will get to see what we're doing. You'll get to see some other artists. We do have a couple goofball ones. One of them, he makes his pictures on like MS Paint and stuff. I believe he goes by Booster, if I remember correctly, like Booster Gold. And then there's another one too, and they're funny guys. But so a lot of people just kind of goof on each other, and a couple of them don't take it too seriously, but it's fun to watch. So, and it's just a nice thing that yeah, we just kind of all gather around and we get to rejoice in the whole thing, because that's the whole thing. This whole movement it's fan focused and fan driven. So it's like we don't do stuff for our own vanity. We're doing this for the experience, to interact with everyone, to create in a way that you guys are excited, and where we're excited too. And we want to just reciprocate that whole thing. So it doesn't matter to me if you're the most polished person in the world. And I'm super excited for what Ethan Van Sciver's doing, Mitch Brightweiser, Mike S. Miller, drawing a blank, Richard C. Myers, written. John Malin's doing the art, Jawbreakers, I believe. But it doesn't matter whether it's polished or not. It's all about the passion and appreciating customers, and customers appreciating the creators, and vice versa. And we're a community that is 100% supportive. I went on Ethan's stream whenever the Bull first launched, and they got me funded within like maybe 10 or 20 minutes. They'd raise 500 for me, and I didn't expect them to do that. It was nice for them to do that for me. I didn't expect it, but that is this community. The Comicsgate group is very supportive of each other. So if you're on the fence about the whole thing, if what you've heard has been negative, I'm here to tell you that all that stuff is based on jealousy and lies. Like, we are kind people. We are people who are not hateful in any way, shape, or form. But we're being misrepresented by the industry because they are worried about what we're doing. So, because they've seen it. The writing's on the walls for them. And, like, they are trying to, to throw the spaghetti at the wall, seeing if it sticks or not, but it's not working for them. But they want to stay the course and refuse to humble themselves and admit that they've lost sight of what's going on. So we are more than happy to not steer their ship, but to have our own ship and get out on the open water and discover a new territory. So, and we would love for you guys to be a part of that with us. So, well, any other questions here? Not so much. I was really tempted. I went to and I guess I'll show this stuff on my Comic Hall stream next week, or yeah, my Comic Hall next will be next Saturday, whatever. But I went to half price on Tuesday, this last Tuesday again too, and I was really tempted. Um, they had like a full run of Cerebus stuff, issues number 200 to 240 or something like that. So they had a complete like 40 issue run of Cerebus there, and each book was just 50 cents. And I didn't get it. It would have been $20 for me to buy like that complete 200 to 240 run. But I didn't do it, so I'm still contemplating maybe going back and doing it. I don't know. But I did still get some books, but I'll share those on the next stream. The next haul, rather. I keep saying stream because that's where my head's been with the whole drawn and quartered and these, but anyone else have anything? Well, it says there's 3 people watching. I know William's here. Who else is still here? Maybe Mango? I know Keem's not. He left. Maybe it's Mango. And maybe it's Task Force. Maybe. If you guys are still there, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what's going on with you all. Okay, you're heading out too. Well, I appreciate you, Will. Thanks so much for stopping in. And like I said, I will take snapshots of those pictures in that book so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you're really into that barcode, because the barcode is important. Like the barcode helps you get your thing into a lot of retail stores. The comic shops I'm at are fortunate enough that they don't need the code on there, but a lot of them will only put the product in their thing if it is itemized or put in their system with a barcode. So a barcode's huge, and I think barcode also enables it to be sold through Amazon.com. And yeah, that sounds good, William, for sure. And what else? And I'm not sure, but I think they throw it in the Library of Congress. I think anything with a barcode ends up in the National Library of Congress, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'd love to see that though. I've never made my way out that far, to see. I could imagine like every single comic in existence just hanging out on a shelf. But I don't know how it all works. My concept of it is very murky, but from what I understand, it's pretty much anything that's been printed in existence, they have a copy of it on file, which is very interesting, but I could be wrong about what is categorized or not. I am unsure, so. But, let me see. And then I did get a couple other cool things. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing the Batman Cursed reading or not. What I have seen of the book is pretty dark and mature. I mean, it is Black Label for a reason. So, I don't know. I might do it if I do that Batman book. The one that shows his private part in it that they pulled from all the stores. If I do that book, it will be age-gated. But I don't know. Like I said, my demeanor, my personality, I'm a pretty straight-laced guy. I try, even when I do readings on my channel, if you guys notice, I don't even read swear words or anything like that. So even if I did read it, the swear words would be pulled. Even when I said the title, I switched it to cursed instead of the actual D word. So, but I know it's bizarre, but that's just me. Like that's who I am. I am very conscious about things I say and do, and it's just how I choose to live. So, but there's so many other elements in that book that's just really dark, even visually, that I don't know if that's something I want to put on my channel. But so I don't know. It's something that I can understand if you guys want to see it, because to my understanding, like I don't even know if it's going to go into another printing or not, and it's going to be something that some people might miss out on. I don't even know if they're gonna do a trade of it. They're kind of rethinking how they've structured everything after all the backlash that they received on it. That more people are talking about that one page than the actual contents of the whole book. Even though, from what I understand, the book has been pretty well received. But that one thing has eclipsed the content like tenfold. So I don't know, but so that's what I will say about that. But I do have I'll definitely be doing. Oh, you're going to bed too. Good night, Mango. Have a good night, buddy. Oh, I have an ant crawling on my headphone jack. Interesting. I will probably be doing a reading of some of the contents from the Halloween 100-page special, because that's another one that's going to be sought after that some of you won't have. The artwork's really good from the Capullo stuff I've seen. I haven't gotten a chance to read it though, but it's got a couple cool stories. And then one of the other comics I picked up at a half price on Tuesday seems like it'd be pretty good for a Halloween read. So I'll probably be doing some stuff for that, but we'll see what happens. And then I am going to one of my best friends is getting married October 27th, I want to say. So in that period, I don't know if I'll have a video queued up and ready for that Saturday, Sunday time, but I'm going to be away from everything like Saturday the 27th, and then I'm not going to come back until like I'm not going to be, well, I'm going to fly back on the 30th, but going back to work like on Halloween. So I don't know how that'll affect the flow of videos or not, but so that is something, and that's huge for me because I haven't been back to Mississippi in like 10 years. So this is the first time that I've been back since my mother's funeral, and then I'm seeing my brothers for the first time too in 10 years. So I'm very excited. So anyone else have anything else for me real quick? Why still have people watching? Fascinating. So we had 2 leave, but now we still have 4. So who else is here? Gas Lamp, how you doing, buddy? Did you just hop on, or have you been secretly watching the whole time? I guess we can just kind of recap for you, Gas Lamp. I was talking about how we have next week we're going to be doing. Okay, cool. So next week on Wednesday we're going to be having a contest called Drawn and Quartered. It's where a bunch of comic artist fans get together, and we just in the 2-hour period we draw live on a stream together. Different topic based upon the Comicsgate show Drawn and Quartered. Ours is Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition. So whatever those guys draw on their Tuesday show, we're going to draw on our Wednesday show is going to be the subject. And it's going to be take place at 10 Eastern, and it goes for 2 hours. And then there's a vote at the end of it. And then the winner of that show might possibly get to go on to the pro version of the show. And we've had 2 winners in the past go on to the pro show and win on the pro show. So they're aware of what we're doing, and it's really cool because, yeah, we've had people draw with comic book industry pros. So it's pretty neat. And then next Thursday, same live stream like this one, we are going to be doing our 100 sub drawing for the signed Clayton Crane Punisher poster, as well as a copy of the Bull number 1. One winner will get both prizes. You have to be a U.S. resident, but if you want to pay the shipping, you can enter if you're not U.S., but you have to pay shipping. So, because the last thing I didn't have that in place, and shipping was crazy. So for this one, U.S. resident only, or if you enter and you get chosen, you got to pay the shipping if you're outside of the U.S. Hey man, stick figures are stick figures. It still gets your story out there, and I can't emphasize that enough. Even to my own kids, they are. I got them some of those blank comic books that have just come out. They have a Batman, Superman, a Wonder Woman one, and they're actually doing like pages, like the previous pages. They're doing thumbnails with stick figures to get their whole story fleshed out before they commit it to the regular special pages on like the comic thing. So yeah, it's all about communicating your ideas. So it doesn't matter if it's stick figures or not. I mean, you can even look at like cyanide and happiness type stuff or whatever. Like there's people who have gone to be pretty successful even with with not a lot of technicality under their belt for art. So you never know. So I bet you weren't expecting that encouragement. But that's what I'm about. I'm about inspiring others to create at any level. What is this? What are those, cats or dogs? I see them, task force. What are they? Are they cats? Meow. I believe they're cats. First I thought they were cows with like a big black spot. But cows don't meow. And if they do, they're defective, so I'm going to assume. Alright, well, did you guys have any other questions or anything for me? I know that you got on late here. If you want to stay with me a little bit, Gaslamp, you're more than welcome to. But let me know. Like I said, the streams we do them for an hour, and I've been on for like over an hour now. But so you're an hour late, Gaslamp. So if you look now, next week, try to come on an hour earlier, and you'll be on time for the stream. Anyone else have anything? Well, yes, I just see some meowing. We're gonna give you a 20-second warning. Get your question on the screen. There you go. No worries. This guy home from band want to say hi. I have notifications on. That's perfect. Yes, make sure tickle that bell so we have the nice little wavy lines so you get notifications anytime I put out a video. I see it. And also, too, I labeled the stuff. So if you're in a mood to relax, you're just looking ASMR, and then videos that aren't, I always have where it says not ASMR. So I don't want to throw you off. Sometimes you're not in the mood to relax. Sometimes you are. So I always like to have my stuff labeled. But that's going to do it for tonight. We'll see you next Thursday. Come back on Wednesday for the drawing live stream. You have a good night, too, Gaslab. Thank you. And you all have a good night. Thank you so much, Task Force. You're awesome, too. Have a good day and night. Make sure to go check out the Bull #1, Indiegogo. Just $5. And I'll see you all next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.